This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Going Off Grid, episode 26 with Queen. I am also one of your co hosts here, Sheep Bender. Tonight, a little special night. Queen's got the night off. Hopefully, we'll have a special guest co host with seat at the table, Gabby. And I'm excited for the evening. Before I even get started, though, let me first do a quick disclaimer here. This is not financial advice. Anything you can lose all of your money investing. This is also not for educational or entertainment purposes. I nor anyone that is speaking is a financial, political, legal, medical, betting, or any type of expert advisor. These are our thoughts and opinions on different topics only. This is being recorded for future rebroadcasts and clips on other platforms. Thank you. So I just took a gamble tonight, y'all. Absolute gamble. I noticed I was in a space speaking the other day and I had my Android out and I saw sounds in soundboard and I was like, what? So I said, iPhone, you got the night off. I'm checking out the Droid. Let's see what capable features we got here. I don't have a clue. I don't know. Can y'all even hear me? Hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully y'all can see me. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Ed, my guy in the building. Zhang Zai Ming. Zhang, if you can, I'm gonna invite you up to speak here. You're more than welcome. Yeah. So let me take a look and see if I can post it. I was going to test this, y'all, and see if I could post stuff. I was going to test it this weekend. I just got. Oh, look at that share button. Share stuff up to the jumbotron. It's almost like the droid is fully restored. Again, Queen's got the night off. Shout out to Queen. Gabby, can we hear you? Can you hear me? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Vendor? How's everybody? Hey, Zangs, I mean, Daniel, and hey, seat at the tables brought the other account in so that it can represent too. And shout out to Queen. Saw that Sephora picture and I was like, could she come in and tell us about her Sephora trip? I'd love to hear that. I know she has the night off, but Bender, you're right. We have a soundboard now. I don't even know what to do with that. It's the first time I've seen it. Oh my gosh, droids are getting love.
Yeah, oh, that's right. You don't. Okay, so yeah, this is like old, like people on iPhones don't even use it. Like it's amazing. Like they're just like, oh yeah, soundboard, whatever, bro. Like that's old. Um, which is cool, but I have not been able to share anything to the Jumbotron or Android since 2025. Like legit, that's what made me go get the iPhone. That and the soundboard, but yeah, it was just like, all right, we're just the stepchild of X, I guess. And then yeah. But anyway, we got a lot to cover tonight. So can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I got my headphones on, but I ain't got my usual gamer set with the mic on. But I didn't care. I didn't feel like Bluetooth and one, Bluetooth and another. I said I'm just rolling with it. I'm just gonna see what's up. And we'll just like the Android cast. I got the iPhone locked in at 80% power, ready to go. So yeah, I'm just excited. Um, any community shout outs you'd like to make, Kathy?
Shout out always to the whole community. I mean, I always say the education that I don't know if I pronounced the name right, BAPA, who provide SHIB education all the time. I like to say I really do thank them, but the whole community just in general, just shout out to the whole community. Shout out to just people in X sharing just different information to keep everybody updated. I mean, I like seeing information two or three times because you might miss something. So it's really helpful when people post and repost and share information. So it's really helpful.
That's beautiful. Shout out to Papa. I know who you're talking about, but I'm not familiar with the Sheep. Was it Sheep series of? information or knowledge? What was it?
Yeah, I think it's like Sheeb information, knowledge, or Sheeb education.
All right.
And it's really helpful. It really is. I have to say, I read them. I don't post them every day, but I do go back and read them. So, and I found an account that's like reposting them constantly. So I was like, oh, so if I miss something, I can go back and read it.
Okay. Hey, education never hurts. No financial advice. Do your own research. Um, yeah, shout out to the sheep community, obviously. Uh, and I got a few others here. I'm gonna get to market talk to y'all. I have not done it in a couple weeks. I got it wrote down every week, and I just somehow missed it the last 2 weeks. But I think it was kind of I was going off the rails. I want to thank Gavin for coming up here because I think I was thinking about it over the weekend, and I might have been talking about like Pluto and why it should still be a planet, and just some other things that kind of just infrequently cross my mind. But anyway, community shout outs. So thank you. Shout out to you, Gabby, first off. The community shout outs wise, we wanted Zang, I don't know if you were in the space last week, but I'll give you a shout out again. I had you down here. Just appreciate all the support you give to the whole entire NFT community, but really have been feeling the DFW morning thought what have you not doing there with everything, and I know you help out and host some spaces with stylish baby elephants and classy sassy girls, and just your overall support, man. Just thank you. But this other one, I want to also give a community shout specifically to Gabby. I think you can probably relate to this person very well. They are probably one of the kindest and most thoughtfulest, thoughtful, I should say, people I have ever met. I would probably, if Queen were here, I'm pretty sure she would agree and say there's just so much that you can learn from this person. And I thought about this like Monday, and I was like, you know what? They just don't get their flowers enough, and I'm putting them on the list this week because they absolutely deserve it. And I just wanted to say this person is a phenomenal human and somebody we can all learn from. She gives a morning thought every single weekday. She is the epitome of positivity. And Gabby, I will admit, you probably could learn a thing or two from her yourself. Just putting that out there. She is no other than the one and only Shayla. And we appreciate her as well as Zhang Zaiming 1,000,000%.
Bender, can we just say we appreciate you for and appreciate Queen too, just for like having us here and up here filling her shoes. I guess I'll be her right foot or left foot, and Zhang Zimin can be her left foot, right foot.
Wait, I'm only half. I'm down one, but I'll be the right foot. You be the left foot.
I'll be the left foot. That's right. You know, we can share because those are some big shoes to fill. So we're happy to be here and kind of share the space. And also, you know, shout out to you, Bender, for hosting the space and continuing it all the time. You know, you and Queen on Mondays, every single Monday.
Queen is not here to stop my glaze tonight, so she is the sheep president and very outstanding. And like I said at the beginning of the week, when I found out she was taking a little time off, like it takes a village, and that includes me. And she usually carries the show, so I feel like I'm on the plank now. Like sharks on the water. So yeah, I appreciate y'all coming up here to help me, but y'all close the gap really quickly. So thank you.
Thank you, Bender.
I had yours from last week, and then I'm gonna go back and find you one. I'm gonna post yours up. Here, I'm just gonna go. Gosh, they make me go through so many things. I gotta jump through so many hoops. Hold on here. Zay, I mean, you got any community shout outs?
Uh, just I know Tutti Frutti Women. Uh, we got a big push this month. They're looking to get some new holders, and they're putting people in who mint a new Tutti Frutti Women NFT to get a dead gorgeous NFT. So shout out to them and Andrea, and she still keeps pushing. And everybody that's jumping in on NFT NYC for this year, kudos to them.
NFT NYC has been uh I don't know, it's been in there as long as I can remember being in crypto. So we'll see how that goes. It's got a little bit of competition this year from what I'm seeing with Doja of Dogs out in NYC. But iron sharpens iron. So we'll see how that goes. And I like supporting everybody. So nothing wrong with that too. Not financial advice. Let's take a look here. Markets. Oh, you know what? Before I forget, because I just live, y'all. I think I lived through they couldn't, in the area I was specifically in, they couldn't classify it as a tornado for whatever little minor metrics and traits of a tornado that it came out to. But y'all, I lived right through like 70 to 100 mile per hour winds, and if that's the low end for what I understand of a hurricane, my goodness. I know, Gavin, you're in Charlotte, or you're in the Carolinas, I should say. I used to have a whole entire disaster team that I used to work with in the Carolinas, probably a little bit closer to the coast, like Wilmington area and everything, where it would just feel really absolutely crazy. But have you ever like lived through like an actual hurricane?
Uh, Not that I mean the hurricane warnings, but not really experienced it. I think there was like I wasn't here during that time. It was like 1988, I think, when in Charlotte, North Carolina, they had Hurricane Hugo. My mother came down and worked that storm, so that's the only reason why I remember it. Because she was deployed here to North Carolina, so yeah, to help out during the storm. So I think that's the only one that I can recall, but I wasn't here during that time. I was in another state.
How about you, Zach? I know you're in the South too. You ever gone through like an actual hurricane?
Yeah. Hurricane Hugo, speaking of which, we were out in the field in the military down here in Carolina. So that was great waking up in the like floating on our hooches. But no, I'm more coastal Carolina. So yeah, we definitely get it here. I've always been like up on the eastern seaboard, so always hitting them.
I work for a major internet service provider, and like Carolinas is one of our territories. And like I would talk to the people, I can't remember exactly which it's called, but I know it's the big military base there. And like yeah, every time there was like a hurricane, like the hurricane could be in Florida somewhere, and those folks in Carolina would just get like wiped out underwater, like like 3 feet of water in their homes, like all kinds of crazy stuff. But I got I usually we usually get hit with like these weird 30 to 40 mile per hour windstorms, but they last like 8 or 10 hours straight. And it's like, wow. And this one was more like a day or two, but it was like the winds were twice as fast. Like I said, about 70 to 100. And just the absolute, it looked like how you see those videos in Florida, like with just the tree debris all over the place and everything. And our trees aren't even that strong, like no palm trees or anything. They're crazy up here, but yeah, it's just wrecked trees all over the place. I watched this branch just smack this lady's car. I'm like, holy! I mean, like a big giant, like 20 foot, probably a couple 100 pound branch. I hit her like right at an angle. It didn't do too much damage. She ended up driving off, but yeah, it's just and then all the like half the town's traffic lights and stuff were out for days. Like I think they're still trying to recover some people's power out here, and that was on. It's been almost a week now, so yeah. Yeah, I feel for anybody going through a natural disaster. Speaking of hurricanes, shout out to everybody in Hawaii right now that's survived Lala. Um, yeah, for that one too. And then I think we've been talking about these. Another earthquake just hit. What was it? I believe Indonesia, like yesterday. I think that was a magnitude. It was like a 6.6 or 7.7, something crazy, man. It's just I don't know, man. And then there was this solar eclipse, I think out in Spain or somewhere, like last week too. So I don't know if just the alignment of those cosmic energies and that kind of thing, just circling around it. I seen somebody post all the countries around the Ring of Fire, are the ones that are getting all these earthquake activities and that kind of thing there too, man. So yeah, just yeah, just be safe out here, y'all. That's all I can tell you. Washington, what was it? Oh no, I'm looking at some old ones. I'm sorry. Yeah, Washington had a flood. Wow, I think that's still going. I think they had wildfires too. Maybe the floods were last year. Wildfires this year. I don't know. It's a lot. A lot going up in Washington State. Shout out to Washington. Shout out to Oregon. Shout out to the whole West Coast. Shout out to Upper Canada. Let's see here. Oh, markets. I'm sorry. Natural disasters got me off. Bitcoin, 64,300 some odd dollars. ETH, 1,900. Big BNB, CZ, 605. XRP, $1-ish. Wow. So I don't know. Seems like the last time I talked about Sol was like 75. Still 75 and change. Hype. I know we got some hype players on here. 59 and change. Doge 7 cents ish. And I'm skipping all you guys this week. We're gonna go down to Sheep still hanging in the top 30 of coin market cap. We're like 5 zeros back, 447 something. Let me take a look here. I want to also see where is my trading view at. Yeah, I'm skipping the big ones. Tesla 339 and change. Apple 305. If you're an oil guy, crude oil $84 a barrel. Barrel. Gold, restore value until it's not. Till it dumps 500 in a day. But right now it's at 4,400 and change going strong. Silver about 65 and change going strong. Let's see here. Where is my? I know everybody wants to know the SpaceX. Oh, look at SpaceX. Oh my gosh, y'all. 146. The opening price of about 135. I think it hit that high at 222. Thought it was gonna bottom out. Just to be honest, pop right back up. I don't know what's the bullish news on that. Somebody give me some bullish news on SpaceX. I don't know what they've been hearing, but I always like to go through those. I'm gonna leave Google on off today. All right, that's market update for you. Shout out to BPP in the building. I see you. Ed, once again, thank you, as well as Death Wish Crypto. Julie the Cat, I see you, as well as Dosey. Appreciate everyone coming in tonight. Let me ask you first here, see at the table, because I got topics to go if you don't. But is there anything in particular you want to discuss?
I would say other than AI kind of going rogue, I think you had mentioned something about robots, I think in an original posting. But yeah, the hallucinations are crazy with AI and hallucinating when working with physicians. I posted under seat at the table something of that sort that kind of happened there. And so um, it was, yeah, just kind of go over maybe some of that stuff too, and I feel like we're becoming a little desensitized because there's just so much happening with AI, not just AI, but then there's like exploits, seems like every day. And just kind of wanted to know if people were getting desensitized to that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you've seen it, Bender, but it's been wild. And I feel like there's something going on every day and it's just not positive news. And so it's probably not helping the space.
I tell you, I am definitely getting crypto exploit fatigue. Like I just literally before space opened up, I was like, oh, another exploit. Oh, what's this one? Treasure. Oh no, safe file. Oh, like the last. Like gosh, man, now the new meta is not the quote unquote hack. It's the third party exposed all your passwords, your life, your email, your address, your phone number, all got uploaded into the dark web somewhere by the third party dude that got hacked somewhere. And yeah, I'm over it. Yeah.
I'm with you, Bender. Like, I'm over it. I'm over it, but I'm not over it. It's like if it continues to happen, will we become desensitized? Because I'm starting to feel that way. I'm like, oh, it's just another one, just another day in the neighborhood. You know, I just okay. Next, okay. When's the next one? So, are they like training us to become desensitized to this? Because we shouldn't, but I feel like it's going to happen. I, I don't know. It's like every day, but it's like, oh, just another one. Now let's go about our day. And I'm like, these are real people behind these, wallets and things that are getting hacked and people's information. Like what should happen when that happens? Like what's the responsibility? Who takes responsibility for this? Who gets the hand slap or the wrist, with a ruler, like, no, this is not right, and you're being held accountable. That's the scary part to me, is that who's held accountable. Do we have to wait for the Clarity Act to pass for accountability? I don't know. It's a little off-putting, I'll say that, to see it. So it's discouraging. Now, I don't think for us in the space, but I think for new people who are thinking about coming to the space, it could be a little discouraging, I think. What do you think? Or Zane? Zymene?
Go ahead, Zach.
I think, oh, I'm sorry. I think it's, yeah, people are getting a little desensitized. Um, it's going to be the norm. You know, just don't fall complicit to it. Just keep your guard up and yeah.
Can I circle back to what you were just talking about, Gabby? That just kind of just sunk in gradually. Did you say AI is hallucinating with physicians, and what does that mean?
So there was an article, I'm not going to say it was an article, but it was by Watcher Guru. And I've started to also notice that some of the postings that we're seeing, you might have to double check those every now and then. But it was Watcher Guru had posted um, that it was earlier. I want to say it was earlier today, roughly, well, a day ago. It was where, and if I don't know if I can put it in the jumbotron. I don't think I can, because I have the same problem that you do, Bender. That droids, we still can't post anything. But it was Open AI. Well, no, wait a minute. It was. I'm trying to look for it. But it was with physicians, and and I was just looking at it. Was it earlier today? Mm, Yes, it was posted 12 hours ago, and I posted like 5 hours ago. And it was like doctors, AI systems are hallucinating non-existent medical issues during appointments with patients. So, and you do have to be careful. So if you're putting your information into AI, where it can be helpful, because it did help Queen, we have to be careful in the way that we're using it. And hopefully, physicians are doing their checks and not just going with the first thing that AI says. There is something called, a loop that you can create where you use more than one AI system to kind of to see what other answers you may receive by putting some information into AI. So if you're using Chat GPT and then you go to Grok and then maybe DeepSeek, and just kind of, input the same information into all three, you could get very different answers. So, yeah, hallucinations do happen. There was I was in a meeting where there was, during the meeting and during the presentation, AI did have a little hallucination. And they were like, oh, look here, AI is hallucinating. So it does do that. But do we notice it? Uh, I don't know if you use AI every day, you can notice some changes, even though you can ask your AI, hey, are you okay? Not to say that it's sentient and it can really understand, but I mean, I have asked my AI, I will say, if it's okay, because I feel like sometimes certain things are off. If you use it enough, you'll notice some changes in the AI that you're using, and you'll repeat back something and say, "Hey, that's not what you said earlier," and then it'll trigger something and say, "Yeah, you're right. I didn't say this," and then it'll all of a sudden go back and do a lot of different searches and then bring back the information. But I think how it's fed is how it's giving you the information. So if it's hallucinating, I'm sure computers get overwhelmed with everything that we put inside of it. So it's going to make up some stories, and it's always favorable. Let me tell you something, it's always favorable to you. And I'm like, no. So this is so sad to say. I've established some very strict boundaries with my AI. Yeah, it's almost like it's not almost, I use it literally every day. There's not a day that goes by that I don't use AI, because we need to have an AI first mindset. Some of us need to have that. Maybe all of us do, but I don't want to impose that thought process on someone else. But I do have an AI first mindset, and I've had it for a little while since AI has come out. And like I said, I literally use it every day, but I don't allow it to tell me, and say, "Hey, write something for me." I'll actually ask it to rate my thought process. So I actually put thought into what I write, and then after that, I say, "Well, rate my response," and it'll give me. It used to give me solid round numbers. Now I'm getting 8.5 and 8.6s, 9.5 and 9.6, and it'll tell me where it thinks I can improve. But one thing that I don't approve of it doing is necessarily rewriting. I might like a word or two, and then we'll play a game, because if I don't agree with what my AI says, hey, I think this is better, I'll actually play a game, and we'll do rock, paper, scissors, which is one of my favorite games with the AI, but it has to have the information already stored before I give my answer. So, yeah, I literally use it every day, but I don't miss having a conversation with a person. I do that every day at work. But I think for sometimes my fun time, AI can be very busy, but I think it needs to also rest. So, yeah, it needs to rest.
So there's a lot to unpack there. Um, no, I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's just a lot to unpack there. I do have a question though. So when I did my tweet, and I asked Grok, I said, "Hey, give me three business ideas that you take, the high-paying executive positions out and just fill it in with AI agents that would create millions of jobs." And Grok just blows me off and ignores me. Was that like, just AI hallucinating, or was that just like Grok, like, like boy vibe, like we ain't got time for that? That ain't happening. Like I'm not even wasting compute on that. Like I'm not even wasting a gallon of water at the AI data center for that.
Vendor, I think the AI is definitely a part of its creator. I don't use Grok as much. I will, to maybe to look at one of the graphics that I do. I might, put it in, a Chat GPT or something else, and then go to Grok, and then maybe go to DeepSeek. But they all gave me three different answers. Matter of fact, I think more of what it is that it's a representative of its creator. So I think it represents who honestly Elon is. So that's why I tend not to use it as much. And I feel like maybe ChatGPT will do a little bit of a better job, and then it starts it and then move it to Grok. See if you like it. Grok has an opportunity not to answer you. And I'm like, that never happens in ChatGPT or any of the other ones that I've experienced. The one thing that I will say is I asked the same question to all three. Two gave me graphics, and one gave me the exact code behind the graphic I had. And I said, well, I'd like you to create the graphic. It said, I don't create graphics. I'm like, what? So I took the code, went back and looped it back to a different AI, which gave me the same exact graphic that I wanted. Of course, I challenged the graphic in the beginning because I was listening and doing my own research with YouTube and Facebook and, a couple other things, resources and Google. And when I saw something I didn't agree with, or I say, well, hey, I want you to put this in here because this is maybe the first law of thermodynamics. That did not come from ChatGPT. That came from me first. And then it actually put it in there. And if there's something I didn't understand, I would go and research it and then go back. So it does take, I literally use it all day, every day. But I think more of what you're talking about is it's a reflection of Elon. And sometimes it can answer very persnickety, and be a little, like, how do you say, it can be not petty, but it definitely reflects who Elon is. Because I did ask a question a long time ago about, bureaucrats and oligarchs and WEF and all that other stuff, all that great stuff. And then I asked something about the president, and it did not give me the right answer. And I was like, yeah, this is somebody's behind here playing games. If it's not Elon, it's somebody that has maybe a personality just like Elon. So sometimes I don't know if it's serious enough for what I try to use it for, but it is entertaining. I do use Grok to create pictures at least, but not give it too much information.
I think Grok's probably the best graphics. I probably only try to touch OpenAI when I have to, and that's only because Sam Altman's on that WorldCoin thing, and they were scanning people's irises in like small countries. Where I'm not sure exactly why. Again, I have to look at something about their eye would be, like a fingerprint or something. I don't know, man. But he's got a lot of eyes like scanned, like, and I'm not sure like why you need people's eyeballs scanned. But anyway, so I just once I found out he's probably open AI, I was like, yeah, check me out, like cross me off that list. I do have an account, but I barely use it. But Claude, I think, is probably pound for pound the best one, even though it's never given me graphics, but it's corrected a lot of Grok and what's the other one? Perplexity and Gemini stuff that I got. Gemini would just, gosh, I'm on a Google phone. I hate to say it. Gemini would just kind of go rogue on you. It just like had me really hyped about a financial thing with Fidelity one time, and then it was like some obscure fund I can only get if I was like a 401k like a hedge fund person or something. I was like, dude, what? Like, we gave you this freaking incredible one, and then like I couldn't even access it regularly. And, like, Claude was one, like, bro, why are you even trying? Like, it's not for plebs. But yeah, so yeah, I just think like if you kind of if you kind of task them all with the same question and you fight back a little bit, and do your own research, and then come back with a little bit more information between a few of them, you'll kind of nail things down. Though. But I do when I'm on Twitter, not especially on subjects like these. I do ask Grok a lot of stuff. Now I will say, one on one, if I had probably asked Grok that same question, it probably would answer me. It's got a kick for like questions you ask directly on Twitter, or whether or not it feels like answering. That it just basically told me that in so many words. Like I'll answer if I feel like it, bro. But yeah, but if you just corner it like one on one, it is always answering.
Now, Bender, don't you feel that there's something kind of weird about that the AI does not answer you? There's not an AI that I've had that didn't answer, but Grok tends to, if it doesn't want to answer you, it doesn't have to. And I'm like, well, where does it get that from?
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. It kind of gave me some roundabout reason about the amount of views or everything, or whether it was relevant enough to answer me back or not. But I just think I just think it gets some kind of attitude, and I do think it's with me. I think it knows I'm just trolling half the time. Like no, I'm not gonna answer you, bro. Like like you at me when you feel like it, not. I don't know.
Bender,
I think it points me out. I think it's just got a thing for me. Like, bro, I'll answer you when I feel like it. Like, yeah, it's like it. It seems like on bigger tweets with a lot of comments, like when they first pop off, it'll answer me. But if I just go one on one and just ask it something random, yeah, it doesn't like answer me on Twitter. But
you're not
in
the
the
only
private room,
one,
it'll
Bender.
answer.
You're not the
Yeah,
only one. I think Grok is a troll. I think it's a troll.
right.
It's a troll. I think Grok trolls a lot of people. I don't know. It's weird.
And it didn't help either because, like, when I first found out, like, Grok was kind of in charge of the algo and everything, I would go in a DM, like, bro, like, why am I shadow banned? Like, unshadow ban me. I command you, no mistakes. And they'd be like, dude, I can't, I'm not that dude. Like, I don't have, like, that kind of dude. And I'd be like, bro, Elon, I would bring the tweet in, like, Elon just said you're in charge. Like, unban me. And, like, I think, like, ever since then, it's just been kind of like, yeah, like, I'm not answering you, bro.
Yeah, get smart with you and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's when I like, okay, for entertainment purposes, I think, Grok is great and pictures and wonderful stuff like that. But if I need to have like a conversation because I'm really trying to learn something, I can't say Grok is the first place I would go to. But like you said, there's Copilot. Copilot really works well. Gemini definitely works well too. I do have my favorites, but just kind of using a few of them because we can only use Copilot at work. So we're not allowed to use anything other than Copilot. And I actually like Copilot when it comes to working, what I have to do every day. And it's really a huge, huge, huge help considering that, a lot of we use a lot of different areas of like SharePoint. And so information is everywhere, but when it brings it all together in more like a centralized format, it's really, really helpful when we need to answer questions pretty quick. So, and yeah, I developed my own analyst that will answer questions that are necessary for me to know, like quick on the spot sometimes. So,
I'm going to keep an open mind about Copilot because I'm usually not anything Bill Gates, but I do see I got a work email that's Outlook, and I always see it there like, hey, do you want to edit like your email before you send that? And I'm like, no, but I think I will. I think I'll check it out. I might not download the app, but I'll check it out. I'll do a look more on Outlook and see how it rolls. Let's see here. I guess we should actually get to some information this week. Since we're already talking AI, again, week 25 here. Shout out to Queen. She's on vacay this week. Week 26, I'm sorry. Shout out to Queen. She's on vacay this week. We got Gabby in the building. Shout out to see at the table. Gabby, I am able to post stuff in the Jumbotron, like your space, for example. Everybody set your reminders for that one tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Shout out to Zings I mean coming up. Appreciate your help too as well. You can accept that code host, sir, if you'd like. If you haven't already, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at my screen right now. And I appreciate all of you. SRV, I saw you in the building. Thank you for coming in, as well as everybody that's been in here. Let's take a look here. Speaking of AI, Meta AI, the Muse Accent Company. Some of these are from last week, some of these are from this week. I just kept the ones I didn't talk about. Meta AI, the Muse hacks a company, changes their systems. I think at the time it was like the third hack. I think it's a thing just to say that your AI can escape the escape room. I mean the non-escape zone and go out and do stuff. It was kind of bullish for AI. So it was like I think Anthropic, OpenAI, and then Meta all just came out within the same week and did that. Speaking of hackers, though, this one was crazy, y'all. These guys, or these hackers, I should say, what they did, they cloned Wall Street executives' voices, went and called up employees, got access to all kind of hedge funds, information, everything. I think drained millions, if not billions. Like it was, I gotta go back and find that article, but it was crazy. And I know a lot of people out there getting voice. This has been going on. Heck, I've been talking about voice hacks for probably a year now. If you haven't already with your personal family, set up some kind of code word, just to make sure it's you, especially your elders in your family. Right now, a lot of those people Gosh, I hate to say it, y'all. A lot of people on Facebook clicking a lot of spam stuff, getting caught up. I just got out of an industry that just makes a living off of like just stuff you would never probably in your life touch on Facebook, and you would be shocked how many people are just falling for free this, free that advertisements on Facebook, and I can't even imagine with AI voice and like your grandkids calling you in an emergency. You don't even know what's going on. The next thing you just handing over your bank accounts or going to a Bitcoin ATM or something. So, yeah, just be on the lookout for that. China has a whole entire facility in, I hope I'm pronouncing this, Hangzhou. It's a school for robots. So they take their robot to finishing school, make it learn a whole trade, and they ship it out and replace your job with it. That's going on in China right now. Grok. Speaking of Grok, the Grok bot it had last week AI early beta for Super Grok and others, but it's like an open call. So instead of just LLM and AI Grok, you ask a question, I search the internet, I give you my best response. This thing is like, hey, plug me in. I'm gonna do your emails. I'm gonna set your appointments, man. I'm gonna go order DoorDash for you. I'm gonna get the the dry cleaning scheduled to get picked up and that kind of thing there too. So the Grokbot is up there. And then let's see here. Claude had required a watermark for the EU AI Act. I think somebody had already figured out a way to beat the watermark. I'm not sure why you just don't put it on a notepad, copy paste it on a notepad, you copy it, take it off, pick up something else. Watermark should be, I don't know, but yeah, it's supposed to be invisible. Do your own research, not financial advice. Bitcoin and crypto firms ask AI for a powerful model for their security. I don't know why. Why are we just not hearing about this? As many hacks. I think me and Quinn have been talking about this for like 3 months. Like they should just get the Fable 5 or the whatever, and like just scour their own systems and find these vulnerabilities before these hackers do. But at least now they're asking. It's better late than never. But yeah, it's like 100 hacks later that's going on. And then Queen, God bless her, Queen's still working, y'all. She just sent me this a couple hours ago. In fact, I'm gonna post it up here. But a robot run the Guinness Book of World Records. It had 202 coffees in 1 hour. It's a one-man coffee shop in Beijing that's open 24 hours a day, manned by a robot. So that's it. That's my 1 week for AI. Daniel, any thoughts on AI this week? Zing?
Yeah. No, I know my daughter got hit with something like that, and she doesn't even access crypto. She doesn't access AI, anything at all. But somebody had cloned her sister's voice, drained several of her bank accounts. So yeah, that's like firsthand that's happened, and it's a real thing. So just be cautious, and yeah, definitely set a code word or something that hopefully they don't pick up on that too.
No, and I'm sorry to hear that about your sister, man. I am very serious when I say that. They can we talked about this, what was it? Probably a month ago, roughly, maybe 3 weeks ago, but they have a way they can mirror the call to make it look like it's your whoever, a recognized phone number coming up on your caller ID. You answer it, it's their voice. Um, and just go from there. And then even right now, y'all, if you get a spam call, I suggest don't even say anything if you happen to pick it up and you think like if you're anticipating like a business call from an unrecognized number, wait for them to say something first. A lot of these calls, these random spam calls, are to get your voice recorded, saying like hello or something, and then they go back and they use that for whatever with everything. So that kind of thing there too. And then something you kind of alluded to earlier, Gabby. Just watch out for what you're searching for on AI. I think I've mentioned this a couple of different spaces, but they have what they call AI poisoning, where I don't know. I'm just giving y'all a random example here. Like they'll just randomly just tell an AI, the customer service to Walmart is this number, this number, this number, this number. And like they'll have a bunch of people do it. And then when somebody just randomly goes to AI and just searches like customer service Walmart number, they give them that one. And it's like to a whole different scam project. And then like, somebody's just sitting somewhere and just draining it. So like just watch out, man. Just I hate to say it, just err on the side of caution first at this point. Like, it's a guilty till proven world, what we're living in, what's going on until, there's just some tried and true method to detect AI and, voices and that kind of thing. But even then, it's going to be a little weird. Go ahead, Kev.
No, I was just going to say, you're right, because those spam calls, they just, they call and they don't say anything at all. And saying hello, like you said, they'll try to record your voice. Normally, I just answer it, and sometimes, a lot of times, I don't say anything. And sometimes I'll change my voice because I know it's somebody I don't know, and I'll act like I'm an assistant to myself, and I'll say, "How may I help you?" So but I don't normally say it like that. It's a little different. But yeah, I have a way of answering those calls, and half the time they hang up on me. You want to play games? I got a game for you.
No, we do that. We do that too. So a lot of times that would be just changing the way you say hello. For me, it's like hello. So they're maybe picking up that they're thinking they're talking to another bot or something like that. So just changing the tone of it and how you deliver, or you just let it go through to voicemail or whatever. And if you don't recognize it and they don't leave you a message, won't even bother at that point.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen those YouTube videos where people play games back on the scammers. And then all of a sudden, I mean, they're better than the scammers because they can actually see the scammers and then call them by the name. And then all of a sudden, the scammer's like, what in the world? You see me? Bender, do you answer those calls? Like,
Uh,
Eric?
well, unfortunately, I do get just a lot of like calls from unknown numbers from people I should probably like. I'm for some whatever reason I'm anticipating a call. So I mean I'm in sales, so I'm just always getting called by random people. So yeah, I do on occasion. At least I will just click, but like I don't know. For example, I just recently got a new job, and the HR guy was like, "Hello." I was like, "What's up?" And I just told him straight up, like, yeah, man, I ain't answered the call first, man. I get too much spam. And he started laughing, and he was like, yeah, man, I get it. But yeah, I just get so many different calls. I usually just always answer the phone because it's usually, I hate to say it, but it's usually money. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up. But most of the time, it's this really awkward 5 seconds of silence before somebody will go hello, and I'm like, hey, or if I just know it's straight up spam or something like that, because like I'll usually get a lot of calls from telemarketers and stuff like that too. I'll say like a foreign hello, like in another language, just a whole different voice, just to kind of throw people off, that kind of thing there too. But yeah, you just like I say, I don't know. I'm pretty sure my voice is recorded somewhere, but I try not to just give them just a straight clear, like one to go back to a family member with, like, yeah, gotcha, that kind of thing. Let's see here. Thank
Well,
you
Bender, we have
guys.
SRV. He came up. Do you see SRV?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's why I got y'all as co-host. I can't even. I'm too quick.
That's okay. SRV, what's going on? Thanks, Bender.
Thank
Not
you.
much, guys. How have y'all all been? I'm glad I get I remembered y'all were on right now. It's these like evening hours always get me because like the kids get home, it's dinner rush. Try to wash dishes before I get comfortable, and then I'm like, dang it, I always miss y'all guys. But I luckily remembered before y'all got off this time, but things been going pretty decent. I can't complain.
That's good. Any AI spam calls? Any spam calls? Are you getting anything like that, or using AI? Anything hallucinating? I'm like, I know you've been listening, and so I'm like, okay, community members, get up here, talk to us. Whatever you guys been going through, we
I
need to
I
know.
gotta say that I felt like that about the spam calls for pre AI. Like I'm just like, because they kind of did that. They would just sit there and still be quiet, or like maybe they were waiting for your voice before the robot kicked it over to like a live person. But it just, if it's a spam call, I usually do the protocol y'all have. I've gone through all of them, like play around with them, ignore them, send them all to voicemail, and I guess it just depends on what mood I'm in. But these days, it's usually just straight to voicemail because it at least tells you, potential spam. And I'll straight to voicemail those. All of the stupid ones that come in as texts, trying to pretend that there's someone, and like they figured out like if they can add their name to it, oh hey, this is Cassie or somebody, and then Siri will be like, oh, I can add them to your contacts. I'm like, I don't even know this freaking person. Do not add them to my contacts. Like, stupid machine, what are you doing? But yeah, no, I have all of those same frustrations, and for sure, I've been using AI a ton. I think I'm much more optimistic about it than I think most people. I think it's pretty amazing despite its drawbacks, its kind of shortcomings, or maybe limitations is probably the best word for it, honestly. Um, but for me, like that's been kind of the funnest part, at least for building with it, is that I can just, when it does something that I don't like, and maybe if it's a one off, it's like okay, harder to deal with. But if it's something that is easily repeatable, basically you can just have a whole session about how you're gonna fix that, and set up some actual thing that you need. Like for me, I had never really built scripts before. I knew what they were, right, and I have a lot very light more hacker style background in coding, to where I would just learn code to mess with stuff, not necessarily do it for a job, right? But uh, I never really ran them before, but they're crazy useful. So now it will come down to that. If something's happening like that with some code I wanted to build, uh, now like at first, back like December, January, when I really started using it heavily, um, it was like that. Hey, yeah, make this change to my repo or something, and then it would do crazy stuff that you didn't want, totally break it, and you wanted to just break everything. But that's kind of the thing. You can build checker scripts and all these types of scripts that where it won't. It can go ahead and go do all its crazy stuff. It'll go verify against the script, and then if it's wrong, it'll just recheck itself and fix it until it's right. Then you put it in. Then you push it to the repo, and the thing doesn't die, and you're like, this is so cool. So it's frustrating, but from someone like me who's been more of a hacker and clanker kind of person, like the proper term hacking, to where I just like to you know duct tape stuff together and not like break into people's stuff. For me, AI has been really cool because it's like that. They're like, there's no question that it can't really kind of answer, or that you can't drill down with it for a long time to where you really land on like a decent solution for it. So in that respect, I like it a lot. But yeah, I definitely had plenty of the problems everyone has, like especially with um, image generation. I've almost completely given up on image generation. One, just because I'm having more fun doing other stuff, other types of work with it. But for sure, it was extremely frustrating to get it to just do some simple things like and this is definitely versions ago, so I'm sure they're way better now. Some of the videos I see now, or even just still images, are incredible, coming out of Grok and the other the Google Vision model. I can't remember what they use, their Nano Banana or something like that, but they're pretty incredible. But yeah, I haven't given them a chance in a while. But yeah, definitely, I've had all of the frustrations everyone has with them.
Well, keep it, like you said, it gets better and better like every version. So have you ever had it? I just have one quick question. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I wanted to ask, have you ever felt like once it corrects itself that it sometimes will overcorrect and then miss the whole point of what you were trying to do? Has it ever like really
Oh my god!
overcorrected?
In the beginning, I want to say maybe it was Chat 5.3 did that a lot for me, to where I was like, I would use it so much that I would start to realize if, because I like to give analogies to it, right? Because I don't really know what I'm doing, right? I'm trying to make it create a program for me in this one project I'm talking about, right? And I understand what I want to happen, but I don't understand the code lingo and all this architectural terms they have. Like, if it tells me, hey, this is this a type or is this a primitive? I'm like, hey, chat, I don't know, bro. That's your job. Like, you're supposed to be doing this. So there were things like that where I would then try to tell it, and then it would just start overusing that word and drive me nuts, and just like focus in on this certain word. And I'm like, I don't even care about that word. I was trying to get you to realize where I was going. But yeah, it has that same problem to where it would zero in and zero in. And uh, I will say that 5.4 was probably my favorite model as far as least amount of arguing with it. Um, and then now I think they have 5.6 out is what it is now. Um, I like it, even though it's a little I'm not sure what to call it, but it likes to do more work than you actually ask it. Um, which isn't a problem for me because, like I said, I got a whole bunch of like guardrails and stuff set up for as far as adjusting my repo and stuff. But just when I'm using it to chat, it winds up being a little more talkative than I'm looking for, and I'm like, okay. But they're all that way in a way, so it's just fun. Uh, it's kind of fun to get used to each model and see the weird differences. One thing I was gonna say too is I heard you had said you have to use Copilot at work, and I haven't used that one. And I haven't never used Gemini either, but recently I downloaded Quinn 3.59B model, and it's pretty limited. Like, it's definitely not something that I would say, hey, uh, this thing's gonna answer all your questions. But as far as like y'all guys kind of concerned with asking models more personal stuff, uh, I think they're freaking crazy cool because they'll fit on pretty basic computer nowadays. Especially like the lower ones, like the 9. You might even be able to fit like a 27. And honestly, if any of y'all can fit like a 27 billion parameter model on y'all's computer, you should download it and try it. Like, it's almost exactly like the same thing, to where it's good enough that you could replace it to ask it all of those basic questions. You don't really want to be asking someone else's model in essence. Sorry for the long reply there, but
You talking about like Copilot? You can do that.
no, I was relating to Copilot because it was just another model I hadn't realized I hadn't used yet, because I had kind of been wanting to test out different models. Um, but I don't know if you can do it on Copilot, but like for OpenClaw, I know I can have OpenClaw work or use the local model as the LLM it uses in there, or whatever LLM you select.
I would say for Copilot, I don't. It's very limited. I mean, you can switch it. I saw GPT in there, so it has GPT, and there's two other ones it has, and I don't have it by memory. But we're not allowed to use Chat GPT, but somehow it is integrated. A version of it is integrated into Copilot.
Right, like it's a company safe GPT, right? Because GPT is just the style of like transformer or architecture that they're using. I forget what the proper word is again.
Yeah, it's a version. I want to say it said, I swore it said, I'm going to have to go back and look. I swore it said Chat GPT, and I can't remember exactly. There's like two other models built into it, but like you said, it's company safe. Then we can choose between some of the models of how quick we want the response, because you have to have like a certain license. I think most of us have basic license, but if you get the pro license, then you have a little bit more access. With basic, I think it's just so many prompts. After so many prompts, it will stop you. And sometimes we don't need to be stopped because, I mean, we have to constantly go in there, and it depends on the libraries that's attached to it. Where you'll get your basic and premium. And I think we're still trying to figure that part out because we need more of the premium inside of the libraries that we use every day.
What did you think about that article about if you're using AI, you're in the 1%?
I don't know because everybody's using it, and well, I feel like everyone is using it because we have permission to use it, and we're a big system, and so is everyone using it? I don't. I think it's more than 1%. I don't know. Don't you think it's more than 1%? I don't.
It's funny. I've honestly read that article about 3 times just because I thought it was interesting. You never can really tell if people
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
on X are just engagement farming or not, and it's getting a little bit harder to discern that now with AI. But the reasoning he has, I feel, is actually really right. If I look back to even crypto, it was extremely similar as far as that goes. The amount of people who actually even used it, that if you used crypto at all, you were probably in the 1% of crypto users. And there's no way I'm gonna jump into all those actual numbers and stuff like that guy was talking about, but I do think it's interesting, and if not, honestly, if being in the top 2% is probably a real thing at this point, because I've gone around talked to just about everybody I know in my life about, hey, have y'all tried, Chat or Grok or Gemini or anything? And most people are like, nah, I have no reason to use that. It sounds dumb, and I'm like, y'all are crazy. You should try it. But plenty of people are just like their first reaction to even mentioning it is like, why would I talk to that stupid thing? And I'm like, man, you should ask it some questions. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I would probably say, just off the top of my head, probably like 5% of the planet has to. I shouldn't say has to. Is probably using AI, even if they don't realize it. I know it's been integrated into every job I've had since 2023, at least in some way, shape, or form. There's AI doing something for you. And I do get a lot of people. I get a lot of people who's like, no, I don't use it or anything, but they at least know about it. And I'm like, well, if you got a cell phone, man, you're using AI. Like, you go to the search engine, your AI is assisting. At that point, they're like, ah, whatever. But I'm not asking. I'm not like you. Man. I'm not pushing the phone, going blah 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 AI. And that's true. Well, I got y'all both up here though. I do want to give you and SRV, you and Gabby, your flowers. Um, as if y'all listen to enough spaces, I ain't about these freshwater draining AI data centers. I do believe it's taking a lot of jobs more than it'll probably ever create, that kind of thing. But anytime I get to that point where I'm like, oh, nope, like I gotta keep learning though. I gotta get better at it. I gotta monetize it. And it's like little Gabby and SRV just pop up on my shoulder, like, get back to work, Bender, or AI is just gonna leave you behind with everybody else. Like you wanna be on the upward part of that K shaped economy, bro. And I'm like, all right, I gotta learn. And I just so yeah, I just want to give y'all, and it did help me. It still cost me a lot of money, but it helped me at least make a calmer decision. I had an issue with my vehicle, and I was asking AI about the potential things, and it turned out to be the issue and the costs and everything. And I'm not a mechanic, but I've been to enough repair shops to know, not necessarily. I know when I'm getting ripped off. I might not be able to do anything about it, but I know when I'm getting just totally getting ripped off. But I'm also not fixing the car, so I'm just like whatever. But yeah, it gave me a good decision. I was like, all right, this is in line of what I was thought, research and everything. And literally, I did what used to take me hours of research, like 5 minutes and 3 questions with AI. Like it just saved me. Shout out to Zach. So it just saved me so much time. So I was just like, all right, here's the part. What is it? The compare that to the Mitchell's report. Okay, what goes into it? What's the labor? Blah blah blah. It is just spit right everything right back out at me. I was just like, oh okay. And then the guy told me, and it was like within $100 of what the AI told me, which made sense. So I was like, all right, that's cool. So yeah, thank y'all. Just so much for you know dragging me kicking and screaming into the AI.
Now I feel you. There's plenty of arguments that I've had to deal with about stuff like that. Like, are they this bad to the environment and stuff? And it's hard to say that they're not, but like I just look at stuff in comparison. Like if we can drive to work every day for the last 50 years and that didn't do really anything for us but waste our money, like AI is a way better thing for us to be, using Earth's resources for. So it's like one of those things. I'd more happily stop driving or do something like that than get rid of where AI is at this point. And it's personal for that for me for sure because of how much I've actually used it. And uh, that's no joke about how much it's actually cost since December. I've had I use the codec through API, which is pretty pricey. Like if I'm working for 8 hours, it probably cost me about $60 in API fees to be doing that way. But luckily, um, I can use the $20 codex. I mean, a $20 ChatGPT deal because and it does everything I really need as far as planning and talking about stuff, and then we can just give the plan and everything to Codex and it runs. So it's definitely cost me money. It's not super cheap, but I honestly feel like that's the other thing. Like the amount of work I'm getting for that $60, I would never get out of some actual developer. Like I had talked to quite a few, back in the height of the crypto days, and you weren't getting any. You couldn't build anything for what Codex or Claude could build for you right now. So there's definitely trade-offs, and I'm with you there, Bender. But I think for sure, the more you start using it and realizing the things that it can really do for you, that are things like that, are next level. Like um, just a quick story is I put in plenty of like the wood plank floors, and every time before I put those in, I got to sit there, measure everything, and then calculate basically every little board going across for the whole room. And the last time I did one was maybe February or March, and I still had to measure out the whole room, but this time I just took a picture of the measurements, put it to chat, and asked it to go ahead and put out every measurement for me, like and put them, from this one to the last one in this direction. And it took it like maybe 15 or 20 minutes to do all the work, but it spit out a whole list for me for every board that I had to cut, what it had to be cut at, and then all the how many boards went in between that were full size boards. And it spit out everything just perfectly fine. So instead of going down and doing like 3 or 4 rows before I had a uh, you know, check and make sure all of that stuff fit. I did the first row to check. I did the first 4 rows to check, and then after that they all lined up. I went down and cut all the rest of the rows at one time, put it all in, and it saved me probably an hour and a half just doing the calculations alone, and then it probably saved me like another hour from testing each like 4 rows out to make sure I wasn't like converging or diverging from the wall with my own bad math. So it was pretty awesome. Like normally you would have to have a software that like you'd have to go to the app store and download some software that would do that for you. And literally you can just describe that thing to chat and it'll go away for a couple of minutes and then be like, here you go, here's your answer. And I'm like, yes, this is the coolest software around.
Wow, that's beautiful. Zay, you got any AI stories you want to chime in? Any positive thoughts on AI? Any thoughts on AI?
I know you got some data center owners who are really don't require the amount of water. I'm gonna look into that.
They,
Yeah, I use it. I mean, yeah, I guess we all do at this point. I do like posts and stuff for Tutti Frutti using it. And I try not to put in my personal stuff in, which I'm pretty sure it already does. You go in and search yourself through Grok and pull up everything about you. Yeah, it's a little unnerving. I guess the amount of info that so and I mean it's all pulling stuff off X and when you first got here to when you joined spaces, the first space you joined, when you hosted first. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's here. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of scary too. I can't even imagine. Yeah, Gemini's just reading my mind at this point, though. Just don't even let me lie about it. Like that, so I don't say it out loud sometimes, and the ad will just still pop up. Just stuff I'm thinking about, and like it doesn't happen often, but it happens enough to know that, like, yeah, you just read my mind now at this point, bro. Or like I don't know if y'all familiar, like casting, like when you can cast your phone onto a different device. So like I'm not signed into YouTube or anything on my TVs or anything. I just watch as guests. But the YouTube is talking to my YouTube on my phone because it'll suddenly just randomly start giving me ideas that I only have on my phone. And I'm just like, yeah. So I can't even imagine what Google really just knows about me. Probably things I don't even know like about me. It's just like, yeah, just shoot your patterns, bro. Oh man, I'm not even gonna ask. Yeah, I went to a psychic once, and yeah, that was enough. I vowed from that point never to learn about my future. Like I'm just gonna let whatever roll out, roll out. Let's see here, and thank y'all for the sincere moment of AI here. I appreciate it. I'm keeping an open mind to it, y'all. Oh, and oh, that's what I want to tell you, Zane. Yes, they have been. Actually, there's a guy. He's out in Iowa. He's been building data centers without water, and they just did it because they were, not only are they just taking up water supply as they evil, but they were also cheap, and it was a cheaper way to do it, and that kind of thing. But yeah, now they're going to the barely touch, water needed, the self cooling, whatever. And like y'all could have been doing that. Like I've been saying it for a year now. There's no way you got AI and you can't figure out how to make something that ain't fresh water. And I did look into it, and it does. Take a lot more power and heat and everything for these chips for AI than it does like your Bitcoin mine or something like that. But still, like, bro, y'all could have been doing that. Like AI, like I'll say it again, man. Like, it won't shock me if a data center's like on a floppy disk in 5 years. Like, and just like we just got all these buildings out in the middle of farmland, just just rusting away. Like, it just won't shock me because it just seems like it's the new Rust Belt on its way once they figure out how to, put all that stuff on the cloud and that kind of thing. And I think they are using some cloud in most cases right now. But anyway, um, thank you, Zay. Um, let's see here. Oh, this was an interesting one. I'm gonna skip down to prediction markets. Congress. I didn't know this was a thing. There's some strange betting on prediction markets, but they're betting on wildfires. And Congress is like to the point they had to ban it. And I can see that because you don't want to bet on where the next wildfire is and then have some person go out here and then start the wildfire and win the bet. You know what I mean? Like that's yeah. And like betting markets, like y'all should have known that. Like if I know that just off the top of my head, common sense, like y'all knew that too. And you don't need all gambling. Like all gambling money ain't good money betting markets. Speaking of betting markets, CFTC invoked an emergency authorization to keep Kalshi in New York. The New York thing is really serious. Like they're suing them for like billions, like I think 30 some odd billion, and just basically saying that it's all illegal betting and that kind of thing there too. So the feds have been kind of coming in and saying that they're going to trump states in terms of prediction market, right? Just for stuff like this, probably, but we'll kind of take a look. Speaking of states, Washington State judge orders Kalshi from stop offering their contracts in that area. So we'll kind of keep an eye out on that. And then Trump and RFK Jr. Oh, I don't know why I should have had them in the life. I'm sorry. I put you on the wrong line, but I'm still going to talk about it. Trump and RFK Jr. Did take the child vaccine schedule from 72 to 11. And then that 11, they're asking to spread out. I think there was one shot they were using as an example. It had like four different vaccines in one shot. Like you get cured. I don't know. I'm just giving you an example: the measles, the mumps, chicken pox, something else. And it had like all four in one shot. And like they said, nah, you got to break that up into four different shots and spread them out. So I think that was an executive order. So hopefully somebody in Congress picks that one up and puts that into the law there with that one there too as well. Yeah, I'm gonna mention this one because Queen put it in the chat. Fauci, the mRNA vaccine could cause miscarriages. I think he had said publicly it couldn't, privately it could. And what else here? Oh, I didn't know if y'all. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but according to the U.S. government, food prices have shot up about 33% in the last 7 years, like since COVID, the most in a half a century. I've certainly noticed it. I would say beef is double, eggs have come down, everything else in between is about 20, 25% up, it feels like. So, yeah, 33% sounds about right, but meat's an eye opener. Gabby, you still, I think you mentioned this on Spaces. I think I can say it. You still vegetarian?
No, I'm not, but I will say I'm not a big beef eater. Haven't been a big beef eater in a long time. I eat more of the chicken and stuff like that. And I do more vegetables, but I still do chicken and I still do fish. So, yeah, I'm not a real big red meat eater in general. Like I would make maybe a turkey burger or something like that of that sort. But yeah, I'm not the biggest red meat eater. Yeah.
No, I feel it, and I've cut back a lot of my red meat in terms of out of my diet and everything. And transition, I should say, to a lot more chicken and fish. But I noticed too, as I've been also trying to go a lot more. I've been trying to go as organic as possible. I'm not like at Whole Foods every day, but like it's like either the upgraded GMO I can get or just straight organic. Every chance I get type of thing. And I'm eating less, but the organic costs so much more. I'm still. Have you noticed like food increasing price wise, like with the vegetables and that kind of stuff also, or
Yeah, they have. They have increased. I will say this when it comes to crude oil, and there's a morning show, it's the daily morning show, and it's Mr. Nas. I think he's the oil guy. I call him the oil guy. And where we're seeing prices, honestly, are it's more in diesel because diesel around here is like $5, $6, but in some states it's like 10. But our crude oil actually has have it's come down quite a bit. I think we saw here around it was like 3.99, and I think we're like, and some days on Tuesdays we get a discount. If we go to Shell, but I'm seeing like 3.79, 3.69. So around here, and that is very unusual. That is not usual. So I don't know if it's because of midterms coming up that that it's occurring, but nobody wants to look bad during midterms. So this is probably why we're seeing gas prices come down quite a bit. But yeah, and crude oil being about, what did you say? I think you said $84 a barrel, but the real cost is in the diesel. So anybody who has to fill up diesel trucks, which we know are trucks that deliver food and other resources that we need, there has to be something that's going to happen futuristically. I don't want to put that out there, but just being realistic, that's not good. So
absolutely. Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. SRV, well, I got you up here. I don't know if you're an actual chef or you just like make things on or show things on the internet. I always want to eat, but have you noticed like crazy increase in your food costs?
I'm not an actual chef for one. I am a home chef that just enjoys trying to make better and better food. But yeah, I'm with you. Definitely, costs are not cheaper. I can't say I've noticed them being really more expensive, but for sure, every week with just four people, four people in my family, and we don't splurge or waste really much. But we make home cooked food every week. It's still easy to push 270, $300 a week just in groceries alone, and a lot of that is truly just buying produce and meat, like and like bread or tortillas or something. Like I said, it's not like we're out there buying steaks or pre-made stuff. But yeah, it's costly. And then unfortunately, I do drive a diesel, and that price has actually been killing me for. It's been the first time I think in maybe 10 or more years that I've considered getting rid of that truck. I bought it because it's a 2002 7.3 Ford, which is a really really reliable and easy to fix machine, and it has proved that the whole time I've ever owned it. I've driven it pretty much all over this country, and it's been awesome. But yeah, now I'm really contemplating that because it, it costs it costs near $200 to fill it up, and I'm gonna get 400 miles out of it. So it's like looking at that, and then looking at that as another just a regular gasoline cars. Uh, it's starting to change my mind. I'll say that. So yeah, I don't know where that's gonna go, to be honest. But I'm with Gabby. I'm hoping it's gonna go down and give us some relief there because it's pretty outrageous.
Honestly, what do you got on that tank? Is that like what, a 25, 30 gallon tank?
There's a 32 gallon in my 250, and then I have like a 38 gallon in my Excursion. But they're both the same engine.
Oh man, you got an Excursion? Holy
Yeah,
smokes, bro. You know how rare those are right now? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
are they? I didn't know
Excursions?
they were rare. Yeah,
Excursions? They stopped making those things like what, a couple decades ago?
yeah. It's a 2001.
Yeah,
I
man.
got it. I got it in an auction last December for 4 grand.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
I put
gosh.
new batteries in it, and it worked just fine.
Wow. Well, they are really rare. It's for those that don't know, y'all, it's I think it's on a 250 chassis, right?
Yep.
Yep, 250 chassis, but it's an SUV. Do you Google it? It's bigger than a Suburban. Um, Tough as nails. I will say this too. That era is a very sought after. Both of your vehicles, I bet, by mechanics because I think those are around the time before all the infiltration of the software updates by Ford. It's a big thing going online right now. Like people are finding like I want to say 96 to like early 2000 trucks just because like they're not getting forced with all the software updates and the mechanics can still work on them and that kind of thing. So if you do decide to sell it, I would talk to some mechanics. That actually might be one of the rare things they might just pay you top dollar for just to get their hands on one. And then I tell you, man, because diesel is usually getting really good miles per gallon. You really do some research on that, but you're not. I know the Phillips tough, but you're really not that far off of a Phillip right now. It's like 455 a gallon up here in the north, but yeah, you're really not that far off from like just a 33, 35, mile per gallon vehicle. It's getting like 20 gallon fill ups too. Like it's not that far off. Like I got a 20 gallon tank. I got a hybrid. It's cost me every bit of about 80 to 100 to fill that up. I usually throw about 60 to 100 a week in mine. So yeah, it's not that far. But yeah, excursion. Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I'm
It's
not
all
a
good.
Ford guy, but that's one of my favorite Fords.
Yeah, I really like it. Like I say, minus the diesel cost currently, but um, I put some regular the road tires that come with it, so it doesn't have like the mud and snow or any beefy looking tires, just because I'm not that kind of a person. Um, it's an excursion that's gonna only be on the road anyways. It doesn't need fancy tires, but it actually gets right about 19 to 20 miles on the highway if I'm doing nothing but highway. But what is unfortunate about it is if you stop, which happens often, you're going to stop for 15 or 20 minutes to eat a burger or something when you're traveling. You just let it idle because you need the air conditioning, and then its idle, range is just about the same as driving. So uh, that part kind of sucks. And I've been kind of looking into trying to possibly switch that over to an electrical system, but that's all just more money and stuff you're throwing into it. But yeah, it is. I like it. Really, the reason I bought it was that thing. It was an enclosed excursion as opposed to my truck, and then they share all the exact same parts. Like when you open the hood on them, they're mirror images of each other. So it's pretty cool. If something did happen, like the other day, batteries went out on my truck, so I just took one out of my excursion, put it in the truck, went and bought 2 new batteries, and swapped everything back, and it was good to go. Which, normally you don't have those luxuries, but it's pretty cool to have them both. If diesel was a little bit more cost effective than it is at the moment, but yeah, we're all just trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I hope you can hang on to the excursion, but I understand, man, especially with gas prices right now, because like I don't know, like I'm thinking about upgrading to a better hybrid than what I got. Yeah, I got a V6, and it's okay, but it's not like my last one that was getting like 30, 40 miles a gallon. This was more like 25, 30 at the most. Yeah, wow. I'm sorry, I didn't side quest there. Yeah, I did. That's fun. It's always fun to talk excursions. Let's see here. Oh, crazy one. I know we ain't got a lot of time, but I did want to make a note of this. Government posts the biggest deficit in history, $432 billion in the whole quarterly, y'all. So, Gabby, I want to ask you. Let's just say you're a multi-trillionaire. Let's just say like you're one of those like top families in the world. I'm gonna keep it clean on space tonight. But let's just say you're one of those top families. 3 trillion a year, like you're just balling out of control. Three trillion a year. I need a car that matches my style. And they're like, you know what? You've always paid us back, Gabby. You run the world. You're good to go. Like you own the planet. Let's just go ahead and we'll get you 100 trillion on on this card. You just go out there in the world and you got this card in case you need access to 100 trillion. Okay, yeah, you're like, okay, cool. I'll just take the card for 100 trillion, right? And then like somebody gets a hold of your card, okay, and they go run it up without you knowing to like 40 trillion, 40 trillion out of your 100 trillion, and now your interest only payment on that card is 432 billion a quarter. What are you doing to that person, Gary?
Okay, so first of all, you were breaking up a little bit because at first I thought you were talking about a car, but you're saying a card, I think. Somebody gets a hold of my card and
Like your
runs it
credit
up.
card?
No.
Yeah, like a credit
Yeah,
card.
my credit card. I had well, I didn't have 432, you know, $1 trillion or anything like that. But I had a credit card that, you know, somehow somebody's open AI got to it and charged like 29. I had 29 charges on my card, with 47 still waiting. So be careful when you're using your AI and be careful how a lot of things are open sourced. I'll say that first and foremost. Why would I have a card with that much on it? Number one, with a whole bunch of debt. I'm not a person that likes debt unless you know how to use it properly. I think most of us retail users should not be, in that type of debt or any type of leverage, because things are not moving the way people expect it. I would not be happy. Yeah, I always want somebody to be held accountable for stealing, number one, because that's not the right thing to do. Number two, why would I be using a credit card with this kind of debt? And I don't know. Debt is stressful. It's extremely stressful when you don't know how to use it correctly. I know people are taking out debt to put into the market, but that's a whole nother story. Won't go down a rabbit hole with a bubble that eventually will burst at some point. I'm just patiently waiting. But anything that I have access to, like I think we should know better, whether it's to take out, a HELOC on your home, or if you have lines of credit or credit cards or whatever you have. I just think people need to be a little bit more conscientious about what they're doing in these days and times currently. But if somebody were to do that, of course, I want people to be held accountable. And yes, your credit card company will tell you to make a police report. And I actually did that. And what happened was when the police called me back, they said, "We're being trained in this, but we can't help you. So you can make a report, but we don't know how to help you. We honestly, we can't because we're still learning." And that's a true story. And so, of course, I made the police report because it was less than 5 minutes between two different places I was going. And then my car was declined after I went to the first place. And I said, wait a minute, why is it declined? And then come to find out there was a lot of AI charges that were on my actual credit card. And I can narrow down, and I will not say the companies at all, down to three companies that it could have been. And one was open source, and I did do my thorough search, and I kind of feel like I knew who it was, but I don't want to take any guesses, but it was at least three. And I could tell from some of the charges and doing my own analysis. And then I had to call the bank. And the bank said, call the police and make a report, which I did. And I had to wait to get my money back. But 29 charges in less than 5 minutes with several AI companies, even AI companies I've never heard of before. I was only familiar with three. So those are the three that I narrowed it down to. How my information escaped, I will never know. But I want people to be held accountable. But first, people have to learn how to hold people accountable for stuff like that, and they're still learning. So, shout outs and kudos to those who are in law enforcement that are learning, because this is a serious thing. And people are and the scams are they're getting more and more savvy with the types of scams. I mean, I clicked the link because it said the DMV said I went down a toll road and I needed to pay my toll. And so I was like, me, I'm like, did I can't remember if I did, but I need to go pay this. And I did not check the DMV website. And it said that there was a scam going around telling people that they owed for a toll that they never took. And so, yeah, I clicked on the link, but it did direct me directly to the DMV like it did everyone else. But I kept trying to pay. And so I should have done my due diligence by checking the website first before clicking on the link. So these scams are becoming more and more savvy. So and are still our law enforcement. They're learning how to help us, but they're still in training too. So I want people to be held accountable for the bad things that they do. So yeah, but how is the question when people are still being trained on this software?
Right. And I'm sorry that happened to you. That it's no worse feeling in the world to watch your cards and stuff like that be compromised, and just especially with the skim machines and everything like that out there. There's just always try to be conscious where you're plugging into, what you're plugging into online, that kind of thing. We could probably just start up a whole new space on just card security, not even just crypto, but just like really like credit and debit card security. And thank you for those thoughts here too, Gabby. Zhang, let me ask you. You got $100 trillion credit card. 40 trillion of it just goes up in smoke. Somebody's just spinning out of control. Now you got 430 some odd $billion in revolving interest debt. How do you feel?
Hey, honestly, I mean, well, and that's the way our national debt goes. We're interest based only. That's all we're paying, and we're not even coming close to making that payment. So if we're falling deeper and deeper in debt, uh, then accountability. Who do we hold accountable for this? Do we start small? Do we go up to the top and work our way down? But I'm pretty sure a lot of it, we can take accountability with our elected officials because they're the ones who are passing the budgets that are essentially taking us out. And they're going to take us out of the global market in which there are people that they hold our debt. They're going to look elsewhere. They're going to sell it off for pennies on the dollar, and then we'll be indebted, and the U.S. dollar is going to tank and go to crap, and we're going to be sitting on the yen or the yuan. So that's my thought.
Zane, you picked
And and watch your fuel because it should be saying that we're up to 10% ethanol, but if you find that you're filling up your fuel a lot more frequently, chances are they got a little bit more ethanol in there. So you're going to be burning off your fuel a lot faster. So you may want to consider changing where you fill up.
also an excellent point. And you gotta watch out for ethanol generally too, especially if your engine isn't designed for it. Thank you, Zane. Doubly right on both. That's the point I was trying to make, Gabby. So we as an American taxpayer, I don't know if it's $100 trillion credit card we got credit to. We just basically give access to these politicians, this money. What they've done in return is they said, "Oh, we're just going to run you up about 40 trillion. Now we're just looking at about 438 billion in revolving interest every quarter." I think, yeah, it's projected to hit about 1.2, 1.5 trillion just in interest payments here by next year. Just in interest, not even paying anything down, in terms of that. So, yeah, very, very sad. Yeah. I'm sorry, Gabby. Go ahead and see what you
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, aren't we buying it anyway? If you own USDC, you're buying some treasuries, right? So they're going to push that debt off on us. We know it's coming. That's not a secret. But are we ready for it? If you don't own USDC or your yield, maybe you own something else. But I think it's important to know what your stable coins are backed by before you decide to hold that stable coin because that debt has to be offloaded and it's going to be offloaded to all of us. That's not a secret though. They've been talking about it a lot in this space and it's scary. But at the same time, I guess if we equally own the debt across the entire world through stable coins, uh, eh, are they really worried about it? Are we really worried about it? It's got to go somewhere.
Well, I've done the math on this, and I don't know about stable coins, but at an average of 135 million actual U.S. Taxpayers, before the most recent calculations, it was about 266,000 people. I mean, $266,000, 230 to $266,000 per person, uh, and roughly right around 37.5 trillion. So that was like, that's not even counting everybody in America. Like, 'cause, you got like old people and kids and stuff that ain't working or, contributing tax wise. So, yeah, if they actually were able to kind of spread it out worldwide, I don't know if I feel better because just inflation's just still just smacking me around, just to make a long story short. But yeah, it would, if it got paid off somehow, I guess that would be better. But I don't know. It's 40 trillion. Even if they did pay it off, they would just run it up again. So I don't know. I don't know what to do right now, y'all. It's just, I don't know. I'm just not living a $40 trillion in debt lifestyle. I guess is what I'm thinking. Like for 40 trillion, you should just be falling out of control.
Oh, neither am I, Bender. I'm the same way. But I heard somebody say it's not the K-shaped economy anymore. It's the E-shaped economy, right? So you have those who are at the very lower ring trying to make it to the middle and those in the middle making it to the top, but it's going to depend on their assets. So I think that kind of, I was like K-shaped economy because you hear, that's what most people say, right? It's like, oh, K-shaped, either you're have or have not. But there might be some people in between, who are leaving the bottom half, coming up, but they're not quite as far up as others. And so somebody called it the E-shaped economy. That was so weird. But I was like, huh, I didn't look it up yet. but I said, I'm going to say, is there such thing as an E-shaped economy versus K? That would be very interesting to see. That's like saying we have the middle class. Everybody's saying the middle class is going to be wiped out. I think it's just going to look a little different, right? And so we may have an E-shaped economy versus K. I don't know. Is there such thing? I have to look it up, but that's going to go somewhere. And people with the assets are the ones who are going to benefit more from it. That's why I guess that's the reason why we have these educational spaces, which I do appreciate. You and Queen having these spaces. And I appreciate a lot of different spaces that allow people to learn, that may not have had the financial literacy. That's very important to have because a lot of people didn't get it previously. So I really, I do. I pop into spaces that are so educational because if I don't know, and then I can't share with someone else. And I think that's, it's important to share. I'm glad we're having these conversations in this space because if we didn't, I think, I could still be walking in the blind, even though my financial education comes from my parents. I like to share with my friends what's going on. A lot of them don't, they're not here on Twitter, and there's different mediums to get out information. But man, YouTube and Twitter to me are the best sources of information. But there's people who won't get on Twitter. There's people who don't watch YouTube. So where do you meet people? You have to meet people where they are sometimes, and that's not always easy.
Yeah, that's true. And I've made it a conscious effort here in 2026. Every time I've wanted to talk myself into watching a movie or sports or something, I just turn on YouTube and watch something educational, like something I can learn from. So yeah, I'm right there with you on that. Appreciate those thoughts. Tell you what, because this is about the time Queen would be pinging me like, let's wrap it up, Bender. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go into some final thoughts. First off, though, just want to thank everybody for coming in the room again. Once again, it's week 26. Queen is on vacay. We're here out and appreciate all of y'all coming in to help. Gabby Zangs, we got Lenny Dosey, Ed still in the building. Take your seat at the table, still in the building. Def Wish Crypto in the building. Appreciate you. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what the Asian symbols mean, but I love the web and the small little three. Thank you for coming in. Welcome to Going Off Grid, episode 26. And appreciate everyone. SRV, I'm going to go over here to you first. Any final thoughts that you may have?
Yeah, for sure. I want to say final thoughts is I love y'all guys, and I hope y'all keep pushing through all of the lows and slows parts of stuff because the time when I miss it sucks. I do enjoy being able to catch on, get on, and hear what's happening because I just miss a bunch of it, just being living under a rock basically. Um, but aside from that, if y'all actually have the hardware to do it or are thinking about it, like really consider trying out one of the local models. And like I said, if you're buying new hardware, see if you can buy new hardware that would hold at least like a 27 billion parameter. So like you would need like 10 or so gigabytes of VRAM if you're buying like a regular desktop, or if you're buying like an Apple, it would need just that much gigabytes of memory overall because they use unified. And like I said, I think having it personally would do even more. If y'all haven't actually got to use a local model like that yet, it really did change the way that I even use my subscriptions because like now I will use like the 9 billion parameter model to just ask it one-off questions, or like if I'm working on something that I think is pretty novel, like it's possible um, that I'm working with chat, I'll just take that idea that it just gave me and take it to the local model and try to refine it through there and see if there's stuff maybe I don't want to be talking about on the subscription model there, and it's pretty amazing. And if you have the chance, for sure try it. And like I said, if there is a way that you're buying new hardware or whatever, consider getting one that you can put a local model on and run it. That'd be that'll be my sign off thing for tonight because I really do think the local model parts are going to make it just where you're more comfortable talking to it. Because I am with you, like what you said, Bender, about you don't know what Google knows about you. I feel at this point that if anyone hacked my Chat GBT app, they they would find out things about me that one, I never told it, but dude, somehow it freaking knows that stuff, and it's weird, a little bit scary that that kind of information is out there. You know, it's someone else's instead of like your friend, because you know, like your close personal friends kind of know those things, but for this robot to be able to just figure it out is pretty weird. But that's all I got. I appreciate you, Bender, Gabby.
Thank you, SRV. Yeah, I just know because I got like a Google phone, so yeah, yeah. If it just takes one look through my emails, my searches, but my everything, like if it just puts the whole totality, the whole total picture together, it's probably really disturbing. Yeah, I'm just not gonna lie. Like, and I'm okay because I'm weird and disturbing when it comes out to it, but yeah, I can't imagine just like, you take that and then like, oh, I can just go grab a psychological degree in 10 seconds and then just analyze you. Yeah, just spit back, a report. Like, yeah, that would be something I'm not sure I'm ready. But thank you. And I, I might have you come back on it and kind of explain that again to me like I'm five, but I think I kind of got it. Like you're talking like a clawbot type of thing, right?
No, actually, so like if you like right now, I bought a Mac laptop back in like February, and it's a 64 gig one, so it was a little bit pricey, but essentially you get on like a app called Olama, right? It's one of the most famous ones, and you just download their app, and it's open source app, so basically. You don't have to sign up to the thing. You can sign up to it and treat it just like you would like a chat or a Gemini subscription, because they'll let you use like the bigger models they provide, but then you're still going through that third party type thing. But essentially, once you have the app, that app's on your system, and then from there you can literally download any of the models that will fit right into the hardware on your computer, and then it's just like you're using the chat or the Gemini app box, but all of the inference and information happens and stays on your computer. It doesn't even have a it's a little bit annoying in that respect because it doesn't come immediately with like a internet search, and you have to do a couple extra steps to make it do that. But that's to me, that's how cool it is that once you get it onto your computer, it's there, and it's never asking the internet for any other questions unless you're enabling that part. Because otherwise, you can just ask it any questions, and it's a whole LLM on your machine. It works it works without internet. It will work in airplane mode, like on a plane, and it's kind of mind blowing that you literally can have that as your own personal LLM model on your own machine.
Oh wow, I'm glad I followed up. Man, that's crazy. Holy cow. I didn't think things like that exist. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's amazing, and like I said, the 27 billion parameter model range, those are right there touching some of the like I just downloaded the latest Quinn 3.8 27 billion. I think it's around 10 or 12 gigs overall, and it's fairly slow. Plenty of the real AI nerds would say it's too slow to be usable, but I don't have that problem. I mean, I don't have a problem, taking. I'll literally take a day sometimes to formulate the prompt that I want to give, AI, and then hit it and just let it do its thing, and go do other stuff and come back and read what it has. But they're really touching like frontier model intelligence to where that the 3.8 Quinn that they just released is really really good. I've been super surprised with it. Like I said, the lower model ones, like the 9 billion one, is probably the lowest I would go to just play around. And I think that one takes around 5 gigs overall. Um, and it definitely has its limitations. Like you can't get too in the woods with it; it'll start acting weird. But like I said, the fact that it's on your own machine is pretty next level. And like stuff like your mechanic question, it will nail like those basic things as far as mechanic wise. Like, of course, it won't look up the exact model unless you um, allow it the internet access. But even at that, all your computer then is sending out is um, normal stuff. You are looking up the internet yourself, so none of the actual information the LLM is going to derive or that you ever ask it is going anywhere else except staying on your machine.
Wow. Learn something new every day. Thank you. I appreciate you taking a moment tonight to come up here and join us, man. For real. Things I mean. Any final thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, as far as on the food, watch out if you're buying meat. Look out for the stuff that's considered cultured meat. It's usually going to be lab grown. Um, I yeah, I don't know. I'm so on the fence on that. If it's not grown in nature, should we really be eating it? Um, yeah, protect yourself. Don't answer those calls. Don't respond to the texts. Delete them, report them, however you need to do. But yeah, protect your assets. Good week.
Does it literally say culture meat at the grocery store, or like how can you tell?
Yes. Yeah. So because the FDA cleared it, the terminology they can't put on there just that it is natural grown meat because it has never been part of an actual animal. So it is defined as cultured, or I think there's a couple other words that they cleared for them to use. And I know there's a few stores around my area that carry it. I can't say what store, but yeah, just yeah, mm, yeah. I don't know. If I can't raise it, I don't want to eat it. You know, but
Yeah, I don't know how true this is, but I actually saw a video, and it was actually a farmer out of North Carolina that made it, and he said in order to qualify as quote unquote organic beef, you could have like some cattle, just pumped full of steroids, whatever, and then you bring them to a farm and you put them out in grass to feed for like 2 weeks, like just like a minimum of 2 weeks, and then like you can then just slap the you know organic whatever label on them, but like they could just have been like just like not raised in the lab, but just kind of pumped up and everything. So yeah, just I don't know, yeah, like I don't know. Go to your local farmers
yeah,
market.
the whole or to me the whole organic thing. If I'm gonna pay like an exuberant amount of money for them to do nothing, just to certify that somebody did nothing. So if you're not spraying it, you're not fertilizing it unless it's with like a manure or something like that. But who's to say the manure that they're using is organic all the way through? So, I mean, to me, it's like I'm paying extra money to get the same product for somebody not to do anything. Um, yeah, no, I'll go pick stuff and like we have a law butchers and meat markets and stuff like that where they're just ethically done, with minimal process and minimal bringing in steroids and stuff like that. But yeah,
That's beautiful, man. Thank you for that advice. Always smart out there. Stay safe out there for yourselves too, as well. Just real quick, Gabby, before we get to your final thought, I do see the president of Shoe Army listening in the comments there. Queen, if you don't know, we are on Androids and we have soundboards and we can post stuff up to the jumbotron. I didn't have to switch over to my little lockdown to do that. But hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope you're enjoying your time off. Really appreciate you. And Shayla got one of the community shout outs of the week along here with James. I mean, heck, I'm gonna throw SRB in there too. Yeah, just a beautiful thing, and we miss you. And yeah, you're in charge next week. Just a heads up. But yeah, thank you. Gabby, go ahead with your final thought.
I was just going to say, I knew Queen was going to jump up here and tell us about her Sephora shopping event. I was like, oh, I definitely want to hear that. But that may be a side thing because we saw the posting. So I hope you had a wonderful day today and enjoyed your day today. Sending much love. And just wanted to say I'm hoping prices do come down because I think it was Cointelegraph had mentioned that OpenAI and Anthropic had slashed their prices. So at some point, uh, I do believe in the whole idea that maybe we won't need money in the future. But I do want to say I lean more towards the private AIs where, there's no surveillance. So if you want to build a prompt and you don't want that prompt to get out, it's not open source as open as it's supposed to be. You can look into other AIs that are a little bit more private. And maybe if you hold a token, you get pro access. Won't not financial advice, but to look into the different types of AIs that could keep some of your information private. Yes, bringing down the price is important. I will say for the data centers, I was inspired by his name is Doug Seavey. You can find him on LinkedIn. He is the one out in Iowa that talked about not using water, and it's not just water because my coworker and I had a quick talk. Long story short, it's fresh water because there's a word going around. Elon has used it. The World Economic Forum has used it in reference to sustainable abundance. And if we want sustainable abundance, we have to use things that are abundant, right? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So therefore, energy is more abundant than fresh water. Fresh water is finite. So we can't really use that. And if we're looking for sustainable abundance and abundant sustainability, we have to look at resources that are abundant and not just, the energy as we think of it, think of wind turbines, things that are, that produce energy as well that could be very useful for the environment. So I would challenge us to kind of think outside the box of just using, thinking of miners and our electricity, but other ways that we can produce electricity that may be more sustainable for Earth. Betting, I remember us talking about betting earlier. Betting, no bueno that you would bet on wildfires. I don't see how anybody could conscientiously, morally think, that type of betting on, people's houses and, forests being destroyed when we need our trees to breathe. And I will say for food and gas prices, it's nice to see crude down, but I am hoping, as SRV mentioned earlier, that people who utilize diesel will get some relief at the pump as well. But, as long as we have these wars and manipulation and power struggles and, so forth going on, that's going to be very difficult. And so we have to do the best we can with what we have. I do like the sustainable abundance. So when I hear more people talk about that, hopefully they're thinking about the resources that are not finite that we can utilize to sustain our earth. Hence, Shiba Sequoia Forest. Always got to put a shameless plug in for the Shiba Sequoia Forest because we are tree people. We hug trees, we love trees, and we're still here to support and educate as well. So it's important to us to sustain our environment that we live in. And so I am liking the sustainable abundance, but at what price, I'm not sure. But there has to be something there. So I'll say it was a great space, great information from everyone that came in and contributed. And so and thanks, Queen, for letting us hold your seat while you're on vacay. And until the next space. But this has been a great space, great learning opportunity. And please don't ever stop teaching because we need to continue to learn. So, and this is our opportunity.
Thank you so much, Gabby. I'm not even really going to try to follow that up. Just kind thoughts from everybody. It's beautiful, safety, just everything. got a whole AI tutorial from SRV. Like, yeah, y'all, just be safe out there in your travels. God bless. Take care. Just help out each other. That's all I got. Doesn't cost you anything to be kind. How about that for a cliche? Take care. Until next time, week 27, we'll be back. Hopefully, Queen will be ready to host. And yeah, we're good. Thank y'all for another Going Off Grid, episode 26.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.